Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of 9th January 2019. The first issue in news is regarding the 124th Constitutional Amendment Bill, which was recently passed in the Lok Sabha, thereby allowing 10% quota in employment and education for the general category candidates who belong to the economically weaker sections. The bill has to be now passed by the Rajya Sabha, and also it has to stand the judicial scrutiny which had laid down a 50% limit on total reservation which could only be breached in extraordinary situations. In the famous Indra Sawhney case, the 9-judge bench of the Supreme Court had struck down a provision which earmarked 10% reservation for the economically backward, citing that economic criteria cannot be the sole basis to determine the backwardness of a community. Therefore, any attempt to amend the constitution to extend what is limited to the socially and educationally backward to those who are economically weak is problematic because given the creamy layer limit above which the OBC candidates become ineligible for reservations, the recent amendment creates an uneasy parity between the socially and educationally backward classes with limited means of livelihood and those who are socially and educationally advanced but economically weak. Further, the Supreme Court in the Nagaraj case of 2006 has ruled that equality is part of the basic structure of the Constitution and said that the 50% reservation ceiling limit was one of the constitutional requirements without which the structure of equality of opportunity would collapse. Another issue to be looked at is whether reservations can be given to a section that is already adequately represented in public employment, but it is not clear if the government has quantifiable data to show whether the people from this community, that is the economically weaker sections, are underrepresented in government service. Given all this, it has to be remembered that reservations have been traditionally provided to undo the historical injustice, and the question is whether these benefits should be extended to those with social and educational capital but with limited means. On that note, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the recent Supreme Court ruling which has reinstated the exiled CBI Director Alok Verma, but at the same time has ordered him to refrain from taking any major policy decisions till a high power committee led by the Prime Minister decides on the question of his divestment. In essence, the Supreme Court has rejected the centre's contention and strengthened the principle that the head of an agency should be insulated against any form of interference. The whole issue revolves around the unseemly tussle between Mr. Verma and Special Director Rakesh Asthana on the questions of supremacy and allegations of corruption. Even though the ruling which has reinstated Mr. Alok Verma has gone against the government, the court has passed a consequential order to the selection committee to meet within a week and consider Mr. Verma's power and authority, which is in line with its previous judgment in the Vineet Narayan case. This is because the court had ruled that the CBI and especially the director of CBI has to be free from external influence and had stated that the law is clear that any transfer of director can only be made by the selection committee, which is also responsible for the appointment of the CBI director. And given the fact that there is no provision for any interim measure, the only way the government can divest the head of an agency of his powers is to let the same committee make the decision regarding it. Although the decision will further strengthen the CBI's independence, the consequential court order for the selection committee to decide on the future fate of Mr. Verma could be seen as an opportunity for the government to achieve what it wanted through the committee route and restrain the CBI director from undertaking any policy decisions till then. We'll further look into this issue based on the future developments. For now, let's move on to the next issue, which is regarding the DNA Technology Use and Application Regulation Bill. The Lok Sabha has recently passed a bill that allows regulated use of DNA technology to establish the identity of certain defined categories of persons, which include offenders, suspects, and under trials. The bill allows the use of the technology to establish the identity of these persons in matters of crime, parentage dispute, emigration or immigration, and transplantation of human organs. In this regard, it provides for the establishment of the national and regional DNA data banks along with several indices like the crime scene index, under trials index, etc. for its intended purpose. The final issue in news today is regarding the passage of the Citizenship Amendment Bill in the Lok Sabha, which, as you know, provides citizenship to the persecuted minorities from the neighboring countries. In response to this, protests have erupted in several northeastern states who oppose the bill, claiming that the provisions of the bill is a threat to their indigenous identity, and also some sections of the society oppose the bill as it provides citizenship to an individual based on his or her religion. For further details on this issue, please go back and watch the yearly roundup videos. And on that note, I'm wrapping up today's news analysis. Do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.